So let me tell you guys everything that you didn't see or may have not heard, because it's a lot. I will say the most damning part of her testimony for me is when she describes a freak-off where Diddy and another man in court are standing on top of her while she is laying on the floor high off of ecstasy, and they are urinating on her face to the point where she is on their. And to further give context, on the right-hand side of the court, seated, is her husband.
Were shown today. Instead, jurors were handed personal screens so that they could privately see images taken from what Cassie called freak-off videos. Cassie had a binder on the stand with her, and she was going through images identifying people in them. Cassie was listing the names of the male escorts, and in some of the images, she said it was herself with baby oil.
When it comes to Diddy, why do you think that you are so heavily involved in everything? Like, everything that comes out about him, like you said, it's automatically, well, what you think, well, how you feel, what you got to say.
Because
this revelation has completely shaken up the entire Diddy case. After weeks of silence and endless rumors, federal authorities have finally revealed a major twist. And guess who's front and center as the prosecution's key witness? None other than Gina Huynh. But this isn't just another courtroom headline. This one cuts deep. Gina has a complicated history with Diddy and a fiery rivalry with Miss Young Miami. What we're seeing isn't just legal strategy, it feels personal. It's got the flavor of payback, the sting of poetic justice. And honestly, it might be what brings Diddy's empire crashing down. Miss Young Miami is already feeling the heat, and frankly, who wouldn't? There's a storm of drama unfolding, and it's packed with layers. So get ready, because what's coming isn't just wild, it's explosive. Carisha, take cover.
That the videos of alleged freak-offs will be shown, but that those videos, they said, didn't come from the government's investigation so much as it came directly from Cassie's phone. But they were essentially trying to raise doubt about why did she hold on to these videos, and again making this argument that this case is about love and infidelity and money. But the prosecution is saying, no, you will hear from witnesses that will tell you that they were kicked, they were punched, they were coerced to performing sex. So this is only the beginning.
But before we get into Gina Huygh's unexpected role as the prosecution's secret weapon, and why Young Miami is reportedly unraveling, we need to hit pause and rewind to what happened on day one of the trial. Because what's coming out of that courtroom has everyone shaken. The testimonies aren't just being heard, they're being felt, leaving people frozen with shock. At this point, it's hard to imagine a scenario where Diddy walks away unscathed. The updates reaching me paint a picture of a legal battle that's spiraling into one of the most explosive federal cases in recent memory. The tension is sky high. Currently, the federal trafficking trial against Sean DeCombs is unfolding in Manhattan, under tight security and surrounded by an air of mystery. The courtroom itself is sealed tighter than a vault. Journalists are scrambling for any details, and the public is left speculating over who else might be called to testify. The first real wave of insight came on May 13th, 2025, when singer and former partner Cassie Ventura, yes, that Cassie, who many believed had long moved on from the chaos, stepped up to the witness stand. Now, let's talk about her entrance. Cassie arrived noticeably very pregnant, with a full, prominent belly that looked ready any moment to welcome new life. That image alone sent a powerful message of strength and defiance. And what happened next only deepened the impact. When she testified, the room fell into a haunting stillness. Cassie laid bare years of torment, claiming Dee had controlled nearly every aspect of her existence. She recounted disturbing details, violent mood swings, psychological manipulation, and those infamous freak-offs, where she alleges she was coerced into deeply disturbing acts under his gaze. It was gut-wrenching. You could feel the emotion hanging thick in the air. No one dared breathe too loudly.
Ventura and Combs reportedly dated from 2007 to 2018, with her sharing after their romance that he was frequently towards the end of their relationship.
But Cassie didn't stop at just sharing her experiences. She painted a chilling portrait of a man who, she claimed, used his wealth, influence, and celebrity status to emotionally and physically break the people around him. She recounted brutal moments, being assaulted in hotel rooms, having phones smashed in fits of rage, her career manipulated like a pawn, and being used as leverage in his twisted power plays. This wasn't just testimony built for headlines. It was the kind that demands attention from a jury. And from the look of things, the prosecution seized the moment, zeroing in on her story to craft a haunting narrative of what life with Diddy allegedly looked like behind closed doors. At one point, Cassie reportedly broke down in tears as the courtroom was shown deeply disturbing footage. Everyone remembers the infamous 2016 hotel video leaked by CNN. It shook the internet. But according to those inside the courtroom, what was shown there made that clip look mild by comparison. By then, Diddy seemed to realize that the tide had turned against him. Even as the defense tried to cushion the impact, arguing the behavior was appalling but not criminal, it couldn't erase the images the jury had just witnessed. A once powerful figure violently attacking the woman who had once stood by his side.
Next, on the right-hand side of the court, seated is her husband, Alex Fine. On the left-hand side, Diddy's 6 out of 7 kids are sitting in the courtroom as Cassie is describing having weekly freak-offs for years that would last 2, 3, one lasted up to 4 days. You talked about damaging hotel rooms so bad in one instance that they had to pay such a hefty fee because the hotel told them that they needed to completely redecorate the room after a freak.
Things inside that courtroom have reportedly been so intense that jurors are being reminded again and again to stay objective and not let their emotions take over. But it's not easy. The air in that room is heavy with emotion, weighed down by the testimonies and the disturbing footage being presented. When prosecutors introduced Cassie as their cornerstone witness, they didn't hold back. They went straight for the most horrifying allegations: beatings, coercion, control. And they made one thing clear: Cassie wasn't alone. According to them, she was just one of several. They claimed others too were punched, kicked, manipulated, and pushed into unspeakable situations. It wasn't random, they said. It was a deeply rooted pattern, years in the making.
Images identifying people in them. Cassie was listing the names of the male escorts, and in some of the images, she said it was herself with baby oil on her, and reporters say that one female juror rested her hand over her chest. Also say that a male juror quickly averted his eyes, and another wrote notes while clearly shaken. Prosecutor Emily Johnson then shifted the focus to when this began.
Meanwhile, the defense tried to flip the narrative, insisting this case was rooted in a messy love story, not in criminal trafficking. They argued it was about betrayal, jealousy, and financial disputes. In a bold move, they questioned why Cassie had kept some of the explicit videos now being used against Diddy, suggesting there might be more to her intentions than meets the eye. Cassie's husband, Alex Fine, made a brief appearance to show his support, but things took a turn when the topic of the 2018 incidents came up. Because he may be called to testify, the court asked him to leave the room. And here's the thing: this is just the beginning. Cassie is expected to remain on the stand for up to 3 days, and if what we've seen so far is any indication, what's coming next will be absolutely explosive.
Those who like to stupidly comment, well, why didn't she leave? She said she didn't have the resources and she didn't feel safe to do so. In her own words, I understood Sean's capabilities, his access to guns, and the threats that he made prior to that.
This trial is moving at lightning speed, and the atmosphere in the courtroom is thick with pressure. Diddy's legal team is scrambling to contain the fallout, but the wave of testimonies keeps building, and none of it bodes well for him. With more witnesses expected to step forward, it's clear the walls are closing in fast. Now, when it comes to who's next to testify, the prosecution is keeping things incredibly tight-lipped. Still, whispers from inside the courtroom suggest that several more women are lined up to speak, and judging by the direction this case is heading, especially where Diddy's concerned, this is only the start. And here's where things take a seriously dramatic turn. Word on the street is that Gina Huynh has been named as the prosecution's next key witness. With that, the stakes just shot through the roof. Honestly, this could be the blow that brings everything crashing down. Because if Gina really knows everything people say she does, Diddy might not stand a chance. Let's not forget, her relationship with both Diddy and Young Miami has always been messy at best. If Gina takes the stand and spills what she's been keeping under wraps, it could completely upend Young Miami's world. So let's talk about Miss Gina Huynh, the woman now rumored to be the prosecution's secret weapon, and why her presence in that courtroom could send shockwaves through this entire case. See, Gina wasn't just some passing fling. Diddy had plenty of high-profile relationships, but Gina stood out. She's been part of his world for years. Rumor has it they first crossed paths sometime in the 2010s, during one of his infamous party-fueled phases. And unlike most, Gina didn't disappear. She reportedly went official with him around 2015. Talk about sticking around.
Say, take a shower. You like golden showers? I do.
Golden showers, meaning when the guy pees on you, pee on you everywhere. You like it?
I just like it.
You do? Freak of the week, huh? So you say take a shower. You say take a shower when you
I take a shower.
You like golden showers?
I do.
But like peeing on you?
I don't know. I don't know. It's just do something.
I'm gonna be honest. Hold on.
Yeah, they say that. I don't know, but I had to go to the shower and I like it.
I give them golden shower, huh? But I've never experienced that. I'm all about trying new things, though. Golden shower.
It's fun.
Yeah.
You know when you drunk and
they just peeing all over your body.
you just like pee in your butt. Yeah, I don't know.
And then y'all still have after.
It depends. Like you can pee on me in the shower. You can pee on me like once you come. Like
Gina wasn't just some side fling. She was the one Diddy kept close, even while parading around with other women in public and denying anything serious. Through all the rumors and headlines, Gina lingered quietly in the background, loyal, patient, and always nearby. Their relationship was a constant cycle of on again, off again. She'd disappear from the spotlight, only to reappear on private jets, rocking designer bags, and making subtle cameos in Diddy's social media like a ghost from girlfriends past. Word on the street is that Gina stuck around so long because Diddy made sure she was well taken care of. Flying first class, dripping in luxury, and allegedly living a full-time soft life funded by the bad boy himself, it seems that staying behind the scenes was a small price to pay. Now, if you're wondering why young Miami seems completely thrown off right now, let's break it down. Because Diddy's love life? It's not a love triangle. It's a tangled, chaotic web. Here's the key context. Before the internet caught fire over that steamy kiss between Diddy and Gina Huynh, young Miami was already heavily involved. She and Diddy had been linked publicly for a while, serving flirtatious banter in interviews, taking lavish vacations, and hitting red carpets together like a power couple in training. But let's not get it twisted. Their relationship was far from traditional. They openly admitted to being in an open setup, with Diddy famously calling it dating while single, whatever that's supposed to mean. Honestly, bold words from a man whose dating history has more depth than an NBA bench. And here's where it really gets messy. When Diddy hard-launched Gina back in 2015, the timing raised eyebrows. That overlap suggests Gina's connection with him clashed with his long-term relationship with Cassie. And if you believe Cassie's courtroom testimony, Diddy wasn't just two-timing her with Gina, he was allegedly juggling her and the late Kim Porter at the same time. Cassie even claimed that all the women were aware of one another, essentially sharing Diddy like a community boyfriend, just with billionaire perks. Because when the money's flowing like that, people suddenly seem a lot more comfortable sharing not just zip codes, but skincare routines. And apparently their man too. Anyway, things between Gina and Diddy stayed pretty low-key for a while, until May 2022. That's when Gina decided to blow up the internet by posting a photo of Diddy kissing her on the cheek. Now keep in mind, this happened smack in the middle of his we're single but dating saga with young Miami. And let's be real, the timing was no accident. It was pure chaos by design. That one post, it was like pressing a big red button labeled messy, and social media absolutely exploded. Fans were left dazed, blogs went into overdrive, and young Miami? Oh, she snapped. She took to Twitter and wrote, "Somebody please give this beast some attention. Translation, don't play with me over this man." And just like that, the cold shade between Gina and Miami turned into a full-blown digital brawl. No more sneak disses or subtle flexes. This was an all-out war, with Instagram stories and tweets flying like confetti. It didn't get any easier for Miami either because Gina came back hard. Honestly, Miami might have been better off sticking with Diddy's dating but single label, because once your man's side piece has Wi-Fi and free time, it's already over. From that moment forward, Gina and Miami used every social platform like a battleground, trading shots, dropping subs, and airing each other out without hesitation. The pettiness reached peak level in December 2022 when news broke that Diddy had fathered a child with yet another woman. Gina wasted no time and posted a video mocking Miami, basically saying, "You're beefing with me over Renja, and meanwhile he got someone else pregnant." That was a brutal hit. City Girls, down 1,000. But Gina didn't just throw shade. She brought the entire forest. Of course, Miami wasn't going to let that slide. She clapped back with a series of savage tweets, reminding everyone that while Diddy might be out here for everybody, she was still the one boarding jets, unwrapping luxury gifts, and sitting front row at events. Still, all the Birkins in the world couldn't erase the fact that someone else was now pushing Diddy's baby around in a stroller. And here's where it goes from messy to downright chaotic. Despite all the drama, Diddy kept them both in his orbit. And they stayed. So did Dana Tran, the woman who had his baby in 2022. The whole time, Gina would post, then delete. Miami would subtweet and drag, and Diddy? He was just sitting back enjoying the circus he built. Now fast forward to today, and Gina is rumored to be the prosecution's star witness in Diddy's federal case. And let's just say, this story isn't done shocking us yet.
In the beginning, like the first 3.5 years, he was, the first 3-4 months, he was really nice, but then after that, he started being an asshole. So like I say, like the first 3.5 years, he was like mean to me.
So when you say mean, describe it.
He was abusive. He was like always belittling me and always like, he was like mentally, emotionally, and physically abusing me. He took one of my heels and tried to throw it at me, and then he like mushed my face and like really hard and made my nose bleed.
This isn't just a plot twist, it's a full-blown explosion. Because Gina isn't some random ex in Diddy's past. She's someone who's been deeply embedded in his life longer than young Miami and right after Cassie. That places her right in the middle of two pivotal eras of Diddy's world, which means she's allegedly seen it all, from the private moments to the shady transitions. She knows how the whole machine operates. She knows who was involved, what went down, and where, metaphorically speaking, the secrets were buried. If Cassie lit the match in court, Gina might be walking in with a full gas can and a flamethrower. Let's not forget, after she and Diddy broke things off, Gina didn't exactly keep quiet. She started calling him out publicly, even saying he would compare her to Cassie. And now, whispers are getting louder that he allegedly laid hands on her and forced her to terminate not 1 but 2 pregnancies. Honestly, if there's one thing more dangerous than power, it's a woman who's been wronged, and who has the receipts to prove it. Sources say Gina's not just holding on to texts and photos. She's reportedly sitting on serious insider info, details about those infamous parties, the celebrities who attended, who got paid to stay quiet, and even what young Miami might have known all along. If Gina takes the stand and starts naming names, there's no non-disclosure agreement in the world that can shield Diddy from that kind of fallout. As for young Miami, word is she's completely rattled, and honestly, who wouldn't be? Imagine feuding with someone over a man, only for that woman to get the final say in a federal courtroom backed by prosecutors. It's not just humiliating, it could change the course of her entire career. Because if Gina tells the jury everything she witnessed, from the tangled relationships to secret payouts and hidden dealings, it won't just damage Diddy. Miami's reputation, her ties to the chaos, and all the luxurious perks she used to show off could come crumbling down with it. And here's the harsh truth. Tweets can't compete with court testimony. Federal agents don't care about clout. So yeah, this isn't just gossip, it's a full-blown legal earthquake. This whole situation, it's a boiling pot about to overflow. Gina, hence stepping into that courtroom isn't just some clout chase or petty revenge. No, this is a reckoning years in the making. For so long, Gina has been overlooked, disrespected, and called pressed. But now, all that is flipping into power. If she actually takes the stand and lets loose everything she's been holding onto, believe me when I say Diddy's legacy could be toast. And young Miami? Her whole public image would be shaken to its core. This is more than just a trial. This could change the culture forever. But, and this is a big but, there might still be a sliver of hope for Diddy. See, the prosecution's victim 3, who many insiders believe is Gina Huynh, has been hesitant from the very beginning. Despite the prosecution pushing hard for her testimony, rumors say she's had cold feet. Then just last week, things seemed to shift. She reportedly said she'd likely testify, even using her real name in court. But now, just days later, she's gone radio silent. No responses to the judge, no updates. After saying she was ready to come forward, suddenly she might back out altogether. That's strange, right? This whole flip-flopping adds a whole new layer of suspense. Whoever this victim 3 really is, their testimony, or lack of it, holds massive weight. The prosecution has already put them out front as a star witness, so the stakes couldn't be higher. What they say could make or break Diddy's case, and possibly reshape the whole narrative around his alleged crimes. So where does that leave us? Well, I guess we just have to wait and watch. But can I get a show of hands? Are y'all still with me? Because this story is an absolute roller coaster. From overlapping complicated relationships to public feuds, and now court testimonies that might blow this case wide open. We are literally witnessing history unfold right before our eyes. And here's the kicker. We haven't even reached the peak yet. Let me break it down for you one more time, because some of these details really set the stage for why Gina's potential testimony is so explosive. Gina wasn't just some girl in Diddy's life. She's been around longer than Young Miami and even after Cassie. She saw it all, from the wild party eras of the early 2010s to the softer but no less complicated dating but single phase with Miami. Gina knows the ins and outs of Diddy's world better than most. Who was involved, what deals went down behind closed doors, and yes, even where the figurative skeletons are buried. And then there's the beef between Gina and Young Miami, which turned into full-on public warfare after Gina posted that photo in May 2022. The one with Diddy planting a kiss on her cheek right smack in the middle of Diddy and Miami's "we're single but dating" saga. That post was like pressing the red button on a nuclear bomb. Young Miami immediately responded on Twitter, calling Gina a beast and basically saying, "Don't play me." From that moment, it wasn't just subtle shade, it was an all-out social media war with shots fired back and forth for months. The drama escalated when news dropped that Diddy had a child with another woman in 2022, and Gina didn't hold back. She posted a video mocking Miami for fighting over Diddy while he had another baby on the way. The petty shade was relentless. And yet, despite all the chaos, Diddy kept everyone in the mix, including Dana Tren, who had his child that same year. So while Gina and Miami were busy throwing digital punches, Diddy was the ringleader of this messy circus. Now, back to the courtroom. The stakes couldn't be higher. Gina reportedly holds receipts not just of texts and photos, but detailed insider info on these wild parties, secret payments, and who really knew what. If she testifies, there's no NDA or hush money that can protect Diddy or shield Miami's image from total fallout. This isn't just about the man on trial. It could topple everyone involved. So now the question is, will Gina step up as the secret weapon who brings Diddy down? Or is she playing her cards for clout? And what about Young Miami? Is she riding or dying with Diddy till the wheels fall off? Or is she quietly plotting her exit while the heat is on? I gotta know what y'all think. Drop your thoughts in the comments below, because trust me, you don't want to miss what's coming next. We're only scratching the surface, and every day this trial brings more drama and more surprises. So stay locked in, hit that follow button, and grab your popcorn, because court updates are on the way, and it's about to get downright messy. Catch you in the next one.